Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons & Dragons advice video on pre-generated characters. Normally I'm not a fan of them, but my stance has changed recently. So before I get into this though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Friends can still disagree. And check me out over on Rumble for my political commentary and weekly current events. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page over on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there. I have 11 of them published, including the one pictured here, The House Off Farrago Road. It's a fun story about a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. There's a Welsh gargoyle, there's a mimic, there's a Russian sea devil that lives in the pond out back. A Rougarou shows up. There's a at one point there's a voodoo Mama Loa shows up. She's in there. You'd like her. She's cool. One of the newest housemate is a college girl who's just found out she's a druid. The owner of the house runs it like a boarding house, and it's she's a descendant of Jenny Greenteeth, the river hag. And the protagonist is a skinwalker who is a skinwalker squirrel. He's also a homicide detective. Yeah. I took all of the mythology, random mythology, threw them into a bucket and made a story. And I think it's pretty good. But be careful, the cat's an asshole. So yeah, if you enjoy a quirky, weird story, a fun story, The House Off Farrago Road. There you go. On my author page, H.L. Anderson. All right. Pre-generated characters. It has long been my belief that every player should work with the Dungeon Master to make up their own character. They should be able to run the character that they created, and that character should be the character they envision and actually want to run. Period. I stand by that belief today. This belief generally ostracizes pre-generated characters. For those of you who don't know, a pre-generated character is a character that the Dungeon Master either creates or acquires somehow for a player to run in his game. Most players dislike pre-generated characters because they don't know the character, they had no hand in the character's creation, they're not invested in the character. All that is completely understandable. However, of late I have modified my stance on these pre-generated characters. In certain situations, pre-generated characters are the way to go. They are certainly not ideal, of course, but in certain specific situations, they are gold. Where time is a factor, if your gaming time... I'm going to give you some examples for where time is a factor. If your gaming time or your schedule is limited and you really don't have the time to help a player create a new character, then a pre-generated character allows that player to jump right into the game. And if they enjoy it and they want to continue playing, maybe they can make up another character later. That's fine. But as a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing, amen. Pre-generated characters are awesome. If a specific game, for example, a module, calls for specific characters, then pre-generated characters are a necessity. If you have new players who are on the fence about playing or not, a pre-generated character allows these new players to jump right into the fray to see if it's something they might want to get into. The last thing you want to do is spend an hour or more helping this new player create his own character, presumably while the rest of the group twiddles their thumbs, and play so that they can play one time. Today's teen has the attention span of a gnat. Getting them to sit still for an hour while you help them create a character and explain all about it is asking a lot. If you're running a new game, that might be something that a game that people aren't familiar with. That might be something you might want to do some pre-generated characters the first time around. If they enjoy it, if the game group wants to continue, then later they can make their own. But new games can be complex and confusing, even for experienced players. Creating characters for a new game, especially if you have to help every player create one, is a daunting task. And who's to say that the players are going to enjoy it enough to continue playing? That's a huge investment of time and effort on a maybe. this situation is ideal for pre-generated characters. There are other situations, to be sure, where pre-generated characters are the order of the day. If the Dungeon Master wants to create 2 to 3 pre-generated characters in case new players want to jump into the game, that's wonderful. The only issues there are that the characters have to be useful to the group, and the Dungeon Master has to keep updating the pre-generated characters as the player characters move up in level. And the pre-generated characters have to be able to be integrated into the tapestry of the campaign. If you create pre-generated characters at 2nd level, and then by the time you actually have to use one of them, the rest of the group is 8th level, yeah, that's not going to be really fair. So you have to update these pre-generated characters. In summary, whenever possible, let the players create their own characters. Help them to do it. Make sure they are getting the character that they want to play. But don't be afraid of having a few pre-generated characters handy just in case, because oh my god, it saves a lot of hassle. I'm learning that the hard way. If anybody else has any more information, different information, maybe you disagree, maybe I got something wrong, stick that in the comments. I'm okay with it. These are instructional videos for younger game masters. So yeah, if you have more or different information or a different opinion, stick it in there. We can go with it. I'm good with it. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.